Sports View London Boxing News from the capital city here with Connor Benn. Connor, just what you do, a bit of pad work with the legendary Jimmy Tibbsy. Your dad's over from Australia. How's things working out for you at the minute, sir?
You know, it couldn't be better. I'm just on tour with Dad at the minute, enjoying every second I can spend with him. And as I've come back to train with Ricky now, moved from Australia 3 months ago. So to be able to be with my dad again and his old trainer is just phenomenal. Jimmy on the pads, you know. I know what my dad was talking about. Legend.
Jimmy obviously didn't know you was coming, and he was asking what he was like before, and I said you'll be amazed. I said it's like a carbon copy. I said he pivots. I said his movement, the way he comes up with his left hooks, and I think Jimmy confirmed that now when you say, you know.
Definitely. You know, to be able to follow in my father's footsteps and be able to execute the same things he executed simply because it's in my DNA. You know, it's a big confidence booster. You know, Jimmy said, I got it in me. My dad says I got it in me. I know they ain't gonna lie to me, so I believe him. You know, just overwhelmed. You know, overwhelmed to be able to be here with my dad and his old trainer. You know, couldn't be better.
Does it hit you sometimes when you see the reception and how in awe people are of your father when he comes back to?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. You see, I grew up in Spain for 12 years, then I moved to Australia for a few years, and it's not like, oh, Nigel Benn, can I get a picture? So when my dad took me back to the UK on my first Q&A, it was like, people want to get pictures of my dad. I'm like, rah, my dad, he gets on my nerves, and you guys want pictures with him. And that was like when I was 14, and then I was like, oh, I want this. And I picked up boxing in Australia and beat #1 in Australia after my 7th fight, and that's when I knew it was for me.
You mentioned earlier about your DNA. I spoke to your father before, interviewed your father, and he said, I said, Nigel, how far can you go? How far can your son go? He said, listen, he's got my DNA. He said, a lot of fighters with talent, but they haven't got the heart. And watching you there, Connor, the world is your oyster.
I want to bring that excitement back to Britain where you pay for what you watch. You know what I mean? I want to be able to fight everybody. And that's the attitude I've got, is I want to bring boxing back to Britain where it's like, oh, yeah, Nigel Benn, Connor Benn's on, yeah, I'm going to go watch him, he's worth it. And that's what I want. I want to fight. When all the boxing goes out the window in the late rounds, I know I can fight.
You mentioned earlier you've been training with Ricky Hatton in his Manchester gym, around the Upton brothers. And
it's quality to be able to train with Ricky Hatton, another legend. You know, I'm surrounded by legends. What great team to have around me. With Nigel Benn and Ricky in my corner, I can't really go wrong. If I go wrong, I'm a fool. You know, all the things Ricky's teaching me, his body punches, I've been executing them, inspiring his turn-offs and his method of training and his method of fighting, and it fits me perfectly.
When you do step into it, I spoke to Ricky at your call a few weeks back, said, mate, you're going to have a few amateur fights before you turn pro over here, is that right?
Well, I'm looking at going ABAs in January, I think it is. Olympics may still be in the picture, it's not my main goal at the minute, but ABAs is what I'm looking at, maybe having another 15 amateur fights under my belt and turn pro.
I know it's a bit early, still developing man strength and still growing, adding a lot of muscle.
I can fight men,
what sort of weight could we maybe see you aiming towards turning pro at, would you say?
Light welter. I'm going to try and win titles at light welter, work my way to welter, middle, super middle, you know, hopefully finish off round there. But start for light welter.
Are you based now in the UK, Conor, or is home still Australia?
No, home to me is now the UK. Although I miss Australia and all my family back home, in my head it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. The sacrifice of leaving my family behind to come here, it's going to be worth it.
Is it a case of when now you're over here, do you live by yourself? Do you just sleep, eat and dream boxing?
All the time. I'm doing training with Ricky in the morning, then at night I'm doing my high intensity runs. You know, I've got to really knuckle down, really learn my trade, come here and learn my trade, you know, get sparring where I'm getting fed, and really put me through my places, that's what I need. Boxing's my life, boxing has to be your life, and the big shoes I've got to fill, boxing has to be my life, otherwise I'm going to make a fool of myself.
Just finally, Conor, words of advice from a two-weight world champion. What words of advice did your father give you?
Wait there, I'm coming and join you in a minute, 1 minute.
What words of advice? Really knuckle down. Put all the girls, the partying, all that aside, because that's going to be there when I'm 20, that's going to be when I'm 30, that's going to be there when I'm 40. Nothing new under the sun. So really give it 5-10 years of really hard training, no friends, just gym. And then that's it. That's when it comes to me.
Right, just you stepped in there. What words of advice do you give your son to take his career on the way?
He knows. You see what it is I don't want him to turn pro yet. He understands that he's got, he's just starting, he's got 20 fights. You don't need to be rushed, mate. Give him 2 years, 18 months or something. He'll be ready, because what he'll do, he'll learn his trade. Going and fight some of the amateurs that are hard to get because they're very slippery. That's what he's got to learn. Because Conor wants to go on like a bull in a China, but he's going to be much better than me. But he's got to take his time. You know, he knows at the end of the day, I know, you're not learning your trade yet. Even though he's got everything, because he's got my genes in him. Mm-hmm. But he's already got it in him. He's got that fighting instinct in him. You know, hopefully, God willing, Ricky's going to change their attitudes. They're just like, okay, right, do that poker face. What Ricky used to do. Ricky look at someone to bang him, and he might be hurting, but Ricky never showed nothing. He said, I'm hitting him and he ain't moving. He just had that hard glance, that look through. With Connor's like, oh yeah, something's coming, let me just cover up. But to be able to be cool, he's got everything. He's got everything that I didn't have. And I know for a fact that he's going to go all the way. I know that. 2 years' time, I believe in 2 years' time, I would put Mooney in more champions around. I like weight.
Words of advice from legendary trainer Jimmy Tibbs then to your son Nigel. How did you feel the pad session worked?
Yeah, well,
every pad man works a different way.
Yeah, different. Yeah, but see, I know Jimmy. I've been with Jimmy many years. Jimmy's very explosive. Connor's got to understand that. You know, where you can up it, bring it up, bring it down, up it, slow it. Connor, bang. Okay, right, let me just take a breather, slow it down, boom, take it easy, and learn that. But he'll get that, because at the end of the day, he won't be doing 3 rounds, because I used to struggle doing 3 as an amateur. You know, and I think, I'm going to do 12, because you don't know how to pace it. Amateurs like a bottle of pop, fizzes, that's it. But as you get into the game, you get more mature. When you start doing 12 rounds, you know how to pace yourself. You'll be able to do that. No, I'm not worried about that. I ain't worried about that.
Connor Benn, Nigel Benn, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.